Hey guys, long time no see. I'm finally getting back to it. I don't have an excuse. It's just life, man. Just life. Foundations and concealers oftentimes promise to erase years off of our face and make us look younger, but generally speaking, they tend to settle in your fine lines and actually make you look older. So today, I am going to teach you how to look like you, only better. We're going to start with the fusion method today. And this system is something that I teach about often, and I want this education to be very simple. And I think as women, we're busy, we deserve things to be simple and easy. And I want you to really understand the only person that you need to be good at doing makeup on is yourself. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that if you follow these two simple things about understanding your own face so that you can look like you, only 10 times better. I'm going to be working out of a custom compact like this. I will match you. I will personally give you a consultation where I will pick out all of the colors that you need for your own face. So I'm not really gonna be telling you what colors I'm using today. I'm just going to be talking about the application so that you can copy what I'm doing at home with your own colors once you have a compact set up. You are also welcome to use other products. The Fusion method isn't designed to be just a specific makeup brand. It's more about understanding your face and your anatomy and knowing what type of product you can put where so that you get that skin but better application. I'm just very particular to this makeup brand because I do think it is ideal. Again, though, you can use any other type of product if you're applying it in the way that I'm teaching you. So to start out with, I'm going to be working in the active moving muscles of our face. And when I say the active moving muscles, what I'm talking about are the areas of our face that move quite a bit. Believe it or not, the muscle around your eye and the muscle around your mouth are both sphincter muscles, which that's basically works like a butthole muscle if you think about it. The way that that works circumventually. So if we put heavy products on there, like concealer or a full coverage foundation, we are inevitably going to crease in texture. You can powder and that's fine, but you're going to end up with a cakiness and a texture to your skin that if you follow what I'm teaching you, you're not going to have. So to start with, I love a skin serum in the muzzle of our face. I do love the ease of having all my makeup in one compact. So I'm gonna show you how to turn your foundation into a skin serum. My favorite to use for this is the Versed Sunday Morning Antioxidant Oil Serum. It dries down like very skin-like finish. It's not greasy, it's not oily. I would define it as a dry oil, which means it's fast absorbing. So what I'm gonna do is take my dropper and I'm going to take 2 drops and apply it directly to my foundation here. You can see it kind of bead right there on top. I'm going to use the wash brush, and all I'm going to do is tap that right onto my product. So I'm creating a skin serum, which is a blur of an application. This is not coverage, but it's going to blur and balance away things that we don't want to be noticeable on our face. And I can just very lightly apply this custom skin serum because it's my exact color. There's 21 different colors I can match you with, so I can pretty much take care of any skin tone at all. All I'm doing is keeping it in my muzzle area. You can go out further if you need to. I just don't find that I need that because I'm gonna add some other products back here, which also will give me the coverage that I want. So I'm just blurring away any application or any blemish or distraction that I don't really want to be super noticeable while I have my makeup on all day. It's going to look like my skin, but my skin just had a facial. One thing to keep in mind, if you have a serum that you love already, try using that before you run out and buy something new. We have so much overconsumption in product and you probably have something that'll work. But when you're done and you're ready to refill, this one's my favorite to use. I'm gonna take a damp beauty blender and then I'm just going to lightly tap over all of that area just to make sure that it's all fused beautifully with my skin, and I'm just getting a blur a veil, if you will. Next up, because I'm still working in the active moving muscle areas of my face, I'm going to filter away my under eyes and make any darkness that I have just disappear. You may find that your under eye darkness is more intense than mine, and that's okay. It's just going to mean that you have to use different colors than I do. But the application and the science behind it is really gonna be the same. Color to color placement, color theory, we're gonna be using the color wheel in order to do this. Pay attention to the application, not necessarily the colors. So I'm gonna take my bright brush. This one's my favorite to use. Another one that is very popular is the spot brush. I'm gonna use the bright one just because I love the way that it kind of just, again, veils away any darkness for me. But the spot is a really great one to start out with if you're brand new to using this Demi product. It just makes it so that you don't use too much product. So I'm going to just go to my darkest points first, and those are what I'm going to erase. And then I will go and kind of work down in color from there. And I'll do a little bit more to my under eyes when I'm pretty much finished. But to start with, I want to just take away any of that excess darkness. Use this brush cleaning tile that I always match and put into everybody's compacts so that you can clean your brush very quickly in between colors. This works very well for eyeshadows as well. I don't wear a lot of eyeshadow, but for those of you that do, it works very nicely. I'm gonna switch and do kind of my inner corner here, just so that I can take away this darkness, and then I'm gonna move on to enhancing and like tinting and toning of my face. This is the fun part where I get to like add some life back into my face completely. That's my favorite. Because this is so light, it's not full opacity. It's more of a sheer transparent, but we're using color science. We're using the right color. It's going to sit beautifully and look like real skin, where it's not going to settle into fine lines and creases. So let's move on to some really fun stuff, and I'll come back to doing a little bit more fine tuning at the end, but I wanna get rid of the big stuff to begin with so I can focus on less is more. So let's move to the inactive moving areas of our face. So you can see like there's just not as much muscle movement here. I can use products that have full coverage, and it's really not gonna make any difference because there's not as much for them to settle into. I'm gonna use this big fluffy brush, and the color that I want to kind of tint and tone my face with to start out is going to kind of act more as a bronzer. So I'm going to just kind of start on my forehead and lightly bring in the color and build up the dimension on my face. Again, by using these really small amounts and working around my face, I'm going to have less coverage, which is going to look completely undetectable in person. One of my favorite compliments to get is when followers will say things that they have met me in person and my makeup is as undetectable as it looks like online, which just makes me so happy because I don't want to be complimented on having beautiful makeup. I want to be complimented on having beautiful skin. That's just more something that makes me happy versus a full beat. And if a full beat is your fave, if you love it, like I have nothing against that. That's just not my jam, and that's just not the way that I like to teach or do makeup. And I will do my makeup the way that I want to so that I feel the most confident, as should you. Okay, you can see just the pretty tone that I brought in. I'm gonna flip the brush over and get a little bit of my flush, my blush color, and I'm gonna put that in the areas that I want to kind of add a good, healthy tone to my face. Contour oftentimes scares women, but you don't really need to contour everything out. Like you can kind of see I already have just a natural shadow in place there. All I wanna do is add where color is missing, where there's a little bit of tone that isn't quite shadowed out so that I get the more ideal sculpt to my cheeks. So I just wanna pop in a tiny bit where my shadow is missing, and I'll get that lift and structure, which just looks more youthful for my skin overall. This step is completely skippable. I like to contour out my nose. If you don't like to do this, that is absolutely fine, but I'm gonna use the detail brush to do this. All I do is put a line on both sides of my nose and then I'm gonna blend it out. And this is kind of my little trick to getting a cuter nose because I don't love my nose. It's just what it is. So I like to take my finger up and squish my nose a little bit. This gets me the perfect placement of where the top of my sculpt should be. I'm gonna use the blur brush to do this part, and I like to put in a little bit of shadow under the bottom of my nose to get kind of that button. And all I'm gonna do is blend out any of this that's really harsh because I obviously don't want detectable makeup. And that's it. Like, it's seriously not noticeable, but just gives me a little bit more confidence to my shape. But since I'm using this brush and I'm going to use my sculpts, I'm gonna hit a couple of parts throughout my makeup where I have like melasma that is a little distracting, but if I use the right sculpt in between that area of color for me, what happens is I make my melasma work for me and not against me. I don't have to put coverage onto the blemish or the distraction itself. Still working within my sculpt and the same brush, I want to tint my eyelids a little bit where I have this tone. I just want to intensify the tone that I have on my eyelids. I don't want to wear eyeshadow. I don't like how it sits on my skin. So I want to just tint. Think of like when you do sunless tanner and it just tints your skin. Like, you still see all of your skin, it's just got a prettier tone. And that's exactly what I'm doing when I am using these products. I'm just kind of tinting my skin versus covering my skin. I'm going to use a paintbrush for this because I love how thin and delicate they are. You can use the spot brush to do it, but I just like this to be very light in application. I don't like to overline my lips. I like to underline them. So I'm going to line just the inside and put product, like my sculpt, where I'm missing color in my lips. Like, I have really good color right here, so I don't need to put it there. I just need to intensify it where it's missing so that it all goes together. You can see the difference between the shape, and all that was by adding the same tone that's right here. I'm adding color where color's missing. And because this is a high moving area, it's going to sit better and look better without having product all over. This could be done with your contour if you have the right shade, or a lip liner, again, if you have the right shade and it's not like I'm connecting everything, I'm just connecting where the color is missing. Another spot I'm gonna connect, you can see how I'm kind of light right here, and again, that color's right there, so I'm just going to add a little bit to connect it. The very last part of my application, I'm going to switch to the spot brush, and then I'm just going to go through and I'm going to take care of any little part that is distracting, any little spot or blemish. Sometimes I will end up with a few little spots of like rosacea that will pop through on my blush or in those areas, and all I'm going to do is just kind of go through and I'm going to filter it away. I call this kind of the finishing step. I always know that I have a bit of hyperpigmentation on the outer corner of my eye, so I'm going to go through, and I'm doing this with these little filtering colors, these little demi colors, color correctors, whatever you want to call them. That's how I do it. I just go right through and touch anything that I don't really want to be that noticeable. I always get the broken capillaries around my nose, my nostrils. A bright brush again, because I do feel like right here I have some color and some tone that's in my melasma that just always feels a little bit heavier. So I'm going to just blur it with another tone to get that very, very pretty skin color without, or very, very pretty skin balance without the layers and the product that's going to crease and texture. Because I'm going to be wearing sunglasses, I am going to use a little bit of vanilla dust, and I'm going to pat it on the sides of my nose right here, just so that my sunglasses don't make that mark. And I'm also going to put it on my sunglass, like on the bridge as well, and that will really help me to avoid any type of marks throughout the day. You can pat with a little bit more vanilla dust if you don't want to have as much glow. That's completely up to you. I like a glow. I'm a glow girl. I just think that my skin looks so much prettier and healthier, and that's my favorite thing. And that's how I do my makeup out of a single compact. My entire face is in here. It's completely done. All I have is this. This makes me so happy, and it's just so easy to do. So if you understand those two areas of your face, low movement areas and the active moving areas, you'll be able to replicate this type of application with whatever you have, or if you want the ideal setup, that's what I'm here for. I will give you a free color consultation where I will handpick the correct shades that you'll need, and you can be able to turn your foundation into a beautiful skin serum that's just going to be a blur, a veil to your skin that really shines through and lets you be the center of focus. The fusion method for everyday women, undetectable makeup. So thanks for watching. Let me help you with a free color match. See you next time. Bye.